football fans, and welcome to the Touchdown Lady podcast, where we touch football from a fan's point of view. I'm Cindy, your host. Let's just get into it. Now, the UFL Spring League is in Week 8. It was some crazy playing in these games. I really enjoyed these games. They had a lot of action, a lot of big plays in these games. You guys got to check out the highlights in these games that I'm about to review. But I really, want everybody to encourage everyone to check out these games. Now, I did see a comment online, and it kind of bothered me because they're saying that the UFL is trash, and they had a lot of negative things to say about the UFL. But I'm a person that's been watching the UFL, watching certain players that play in the UFL. And these games got good quality players as well as coaches. These coaches have coached in college level as well as some of them in the NFL level. So they are worth checking out. And I also, I watch this league too, I want to see these guys that want to continue playing professional football, even though they didn't make it in the NFL, still have an opportunity to follow their dream and play professional football. And I don't see anything that's wrong with that. So I'm still encouraging all my football fans, please come out and support this league. It's worth it. If they had a team in my area, I would buy tickets to the game, but we don't. But I do support them by watching the games, and I'm just encouraging all my football fans out there to help build this league. I would like to see this league get as big as the NFL. Who knows? But I really think this just gives the opportunity for the players that didn't make it in the NFL to continue their football career. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So let's just get into our reviews. Now, the first game I want to talk about is the Memphis Showboat and the San Antonio Brahmas. Now, both these teams are evenly matched, and the reason why I say that is because both these teams came into this game 1-6. Yeah, they're not good on offense and defense. They really can't establish a run or a pass game, but it was a decent game. This game was won in overtime by the Memphis Showboats, 24-22. Go and check out the highlights, especially in the overtime. That was really exciting in the overtime. Now, these two teams did step up a little bit in the offense and defense, and they really played hard. Both of these teams really wanted to win this game, but there only could be one winner, and it wound up being the Memphis Showboats. Then the quarterback, Troy Williams, had 36 yards and no touchdown for the Memphis Showboats. And the San Antonio Brahma quarterback, Kevin Hogan, he had 90 yards and no touchdowns and 3 interceptions in this game. But overall, it was a good game. I really enjoyed this game. The Memphis Showboats had 168 total yards, 167 total yards, and San Antonio Brahms had 285 total yards. But it was a good game. It was worth watching. Like I said, check out these games. The next game I want to talk about is the St. Louis Battlehawks versus the Stallions, Birmingham Stallions. Now, the Birmingham Stallions are the reigning champs of the UFL for 3 years straight. They're trying to do a four-peat. Who knows? Who knows? But they wind up getting beat by the St. Louis Battlehawks by 1 point, 29-28. This game was a battle all the way to the end, especially in the fourth quarter. It was a lot of back and forth, in both these two teams. We knew this was going to be a battle between these two teams. Both these teams have good offense and defense. They can establish a run game. There was pretty much a run game. They got some passes in there, but mostly it was a run game. And like I said, this game did not disappoint. It was crazy, crazy. Go and check out the fourth quarter. It was a fumble by the Stallions, and the Battlehawks wound up recovering it, and that's what ended the game. But overall, it was a good game to check it out. Like I said, if you want to see any of these games that you did not see live, you can go to, believe it or not, Tubi, ESPN on demand, and YouTube to watch these games. I do recommend it. It will not disappoint. I really enjoy watching these games. The quarterback for the Battlehawks, Max Duggan, had 54 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. The Stallions quarterback, Jamar Smith, had 262 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game. He actually threw a 65-yard pass to Deion Kane, the wide receiver. Go and check that highlight. That was a beautiful pass that he threw downfield. The Stallions had 102 yards, total yards, and the Battlehawks had 245 yards. Now, with this win, the Battlehawks is moving on to play the playoffs, the XFL Conference Championship game. So they will be playing in that in the conference. That's the next round in the playoffs. So they made it into the playoffs. The next team I want to talk about, is the DC Defenders versus the Arlington Renegade. This also was a battle. It was a battle. The DC Defenders wound up winning this game 33-30. But in the fourth quarter, that's when all the action happened in the fourth quarter, and it went down. Now, the Renegades had a chance to tie this game in the fourth quarter with a field goal. They chose not to go with a field goal, and they went with a pass, and it wound up getting intercepted by the DC Defenders, and that's what ended the game. The crowd went crazy. The team went crazy because this win for the DC Defenders put them in the playoffs, and they will be playing in the USFL conference playoff game. Yes, they are moving on to play in the, like I said, in the conference championship game. But it was a crazy ending to the game. But these teams fought it out all the way. Now, quarterback Jordan Tamu for the DC Defenders, he had 240 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. 2 touchdowns in this game. And quarterback for the Arlington Renegade, Luis Perez, he had 350 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game and 1 interception in this game. But this game had everybody going crazy at the end. You should see the excitement and the energy that was in that stadium after they win. It was like they won the Super Bowl. Go check it out. It's worth checking out the highlights in this game. It was just crazy. The Renegade Alligators had 429 yards, total yards, and the DC Defenders had 384 yards in this game. But like I said, the Renegade Alligators had a chance to tie this game at 33 and go into overtime, but they chose not to go for the field goal, and they went for the pass, and it was intercepted, and the clock ran out, and that's how the game ended. And DC Defenders is moving on to play in the conference championship game. Now we're going to talk about the coach of the week is Jim Turner. He is the interim head coach for the Memphis Showboats. He comes with a lot of experience. He coached in the NFL on the offensive line. He also coached for the Miami Dolphins, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the college Texas A&M. And most recently, like I said, he was named the interim coach for the Memphis Showboat in the UFL. And that is our coach of the week, Jim Turner, the head coach of the Memphis Showboats. Now, the UFL playoff standings is going to be DC Defenders versus the St. Louis Battlehawks playing in the XFL Championship Conference. And the Michigan Panthers and the Birmingham Stallions is going to be playing in the UFL Championship Conference. And from those, so whoever wins out of those 2 conferences will be playing in the UFL Championship game, which is going to be in June 14th. It's going to down. But we still have week 9 coming up in the regular season for the UFL. Like I said, it's a 10-week season, but those are the teams that's going to be playing in the playoffs. We still have 2 more weeks of the UFL regular season to watch, and we're coming up on week 9. Now, let's talk a little bit about the NFL. There's a lot of drama going on in the NFL. We all know with the Browns and Shador and all that stuff. So I'm not going to really get too much into that. I pretty much going to talk about the Steelers. Like I said, they're still waiting for Aaron Rodgers to come sign with them. Now, mandatory minicamp starts June 10th. And there's some words or rumors out there that's saying that he might show up for the mandatory minicamp for the Steelers, but we don't know. This is Aaron Rodgers. You know how he is. He likes to keep people guessing. He doesn't like to commit. But that's what the speculation is, that he's probably going to show up for the training camp. We just have to wait and see. He has not signed a contract with the Steelers at all, saying he's going to be their quarterback. They are still waiting on that. So we have to wait and see, how that's going to play out. Moving on, let's talk about the 49ers and Brock Purdy finally came to agreement on his extended contract. Brock Purdy will now sign a 5-year contract, $265 million, $181 million guaranteed. The first 3 years of this contract, he is going to make $165.5 million for the first 3 years of this contract. Go ahead, 49ers and Brock Purdy. You got the job done before the season. I was waiting for that. Congratulations on the 49ers and Brock Purdy getting an extended contract done. Moving on, now Michael Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys have not reached a contract for his extended contract yet. They are still in negotiations. Yes, that saga is still going on. I will keep you updated on that. But right now, it's still the same. He has not signed an extended contract with Dallas. Like I said, mandatory minicamp is about to start. I don't know how that's going to play out. Moving on, let's talk about the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson, the defensive end. Now, he's been in contract negotiations with them for a while now. Now, it's said that the Bengals offered him $28 million a year, and he turned it down. He wants more than that. But he only, for 2025 season, he's only going to make $16 million. But he turned down $28 million. I don't know. He wants more money than that. I got to see how this is going to play out. It's been a long time between these two negotiations been going on. Like I said, they have not resolved it. Now, here's the issue. They're saying that he might sit out. But the Bengals saying if he doesn't show up for mandatory minicamp, which is June 10th, he's going to be fined $50,000 a day. He will be fined until he comes to the minicamp. I don't know how this is going to play out, but he's standing strong. He wants more money. The Bengals are standing strong with their offer of $28 million. We got to see how this is going to play out. Is he going to show up for training camp? I don't know. Is he going to show up when the season starts? I don't know. They said he's going to be fined then, too, if he does not show up for the season that starts. So we have to wait and see how this is going to play out. But it has been a lot of negotiation between these two. They have not come to an agreement. Now, moving on, I want to talk about some of these teams' schedule. Yes, the 2025 NFL regular season schedule is out. And I took a look at some of the teams that I'm going to be interested in watching this season. And I'm going to start off with the Bills. You know, I'm a Bills fan. Now, I like their schedule. It's pretty easy right now. I think they can win. I see them taking it. That's just my opinion. But their schedule is really good. First, they're going to play the Baltimore Ravens. That's Lamar Jackson. Okay. That could be 50-50 with them. But after that, they have the New York Jets, the Miami Dolphins, the New Orleans Saints, New England Patriots, the Atlanta Falcons, and then they got a bye week, and then they're going to play, they're going to be playing Kansas City in November. Now, that might be another tough one, but we have to wait and see. But so far, I'm liking their first half of their schedule. It really looks good. They should win the majority of these games. Yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. The next team I want to talk about is the Giants. Now, the Giants have a kind of a difficult, right off the bat, with their schedule. It's going to be tough for them. And the first team, they're going to play the Commanders. They're playing the Commanders. They're going to play Cowboys, then the Chargers, and then the Saints. Then they have the Eagles, and then the Broncos, and the Eagles, and then the 49ers. That's kind of a tough schedule right there. Yeah, it's crazy. But we got to wait and see how it's going to play out. Who's going to be there? We all know they got Russell Wilson. Who is going to be the starting quarterback? They're saying it's going to be Russell. I don't know how well he's going to do against these teams, because these teams, right, that they playing are pretty solid. But we have to wait and see how they play out. But they do have a difficult schedule first half. The next one are the Patriots. To me, they have a nice schedule. Pretty easy. They should win. I'm saying at least 7 games or plus. Some people say they might even make it pick into the playoffs. You never know. You never know. That's one thing about football you can't predict. It would be nice if they make it to the playoffs, but we have to wait and see. But their schedule, starting off the bat, they got the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Steelers, the Panthers. Then they got the Bills. That's my team. It might be a little challenging for them. And then they have the New Orleans Saints. And then they have the Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Buccaneers. So that's their schedule started off. So I think they can win some of these games. I really have confidence in that. They have stepped up on their offensive line. I like that, what they've been doing, adding pieces to that. The defense, to me, is looking good. It's looking really solid. They're getting younger players, so that's also looking good. I feel like it's going to come together. I can't wait to see what they're going to do on that field, especially Drake May. The other team that everyone's talking about is the Browns. Now, I'm not really a Brown fan, but I am going to be watching some of the games and see how it's going to play out, who is going to be the quarterback. Yes, they got 5 of them on their roster. We don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback for them. But Browns are all over the place in their organization. But their schedule is kind of tough, too, as well. They have the Bengals, the Ravens, the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Dolphins, and then the Patriots. That's kind of tough. I don't know how many of those games they'll be able to win. But you just have to wait and see how that's going to all play out when they decide who is going to be the starting quarterback. Well, this is the part of the show. If you want to reach out to me, you can email me at touchdownladies@gmail.com. That's touchdownladies@gmail.com. Well, I like to end the show on a positive note, and I do something I call Facts, Fun, and Football, where I reach into my little jar here, and I'll pull out something fun to end the show on. Let's see. Now, this is going to be a joke. What did the Cardinals and the post office have in common? Neither delivers on Sundays. And this is Sandy from the Touchdown Ladies saying, don't forget to smile, be happy, be kind, put your action behind your plan, and keep moving forward. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.